Yo, man.
Am I gonna go crazy?
So your Oklahoma State Cowboys uh, get the Texas Longhorns this weekend in a game for which Oklahoma State gets to try to supplant itself as a top tier program. Like somehow Oklahoma State ranked number 6 in the country. I get they beat Iowa State 24-21. Iowa State also lost to Louisiana Lafayette. The thing that bothers me about this game is Oklahoma State's defense is actually pretty good. Like they gave up a couple of long runs to Breece Hall, which led to 185 yards rushing on 20 carries last weekend. But on the whole, like their secondary has been playing pretty decent football when it comes to, stopping pass plays. So, if Oklahoma State has to stop Texas throwing the ball, I think that goes well for them. However, if I am Texas, I want to run Tom Herman's power spread for the first time all year. I want to run and run and run against a weaker front seven, I think. Whereas Oklahoma State is going to hope and pray that Spencer Sanders doesn't turn into the turnover pumpkin that he turns into every single game. So knowing what I told you just now about Oklahoma State and Texas, do you think Texas actually shows up to spoil the Oklahoma State, we're going to go undefeated parade? Or is Oklahoma State actually going to beat this Texas team that's not very good?
Oh, let me ask you this: do you, in your heart of hearts, you gave me this small little rundown?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that Oklahoma State are also not that good? Like, how do you feel about them?
I think that they are as good as their quarterback is. Like, I feel like their ceiling is their quarterback, and the better quarterback is on the bench. Like, Spencer Sanders got hurt. 6'5", 240-pound Shane Illingworth shows up and starts throwing dimes and darts and launching bombs down the field. And then your man Mike Gundy comes out here and says, "Nah, Spencer Sanders is the quarterback." Why? Well, because he gives us a dimension in the run game that we don't have with Shane. That's what Chuba Hubbard is for. Like, that's what LG Brown is for. You don't need your quarterback to be out there making it happen. Like, he's treating Spencer Sanders.
He runs his offense like he plays with his toys.
Man, but he's treating Spencer Sanders like, Zach Robinson 2.0. And that's not a good thing. Like, nobody should want Zach Robinson style play at their quarterback position unless they're Tom Osborne and it's 1995. Like, that's not who you are. You have Tylan Wallace out there. You got Braylon Johnson out there. You got Dylan Stoner out there. You got Brendan Presley whenever you want. And you out here talking about we need the run dimension from our quarterback? No, you need to distribute the ball to these wideouts and these tailbacks. And Sanders is going to throw the ball to the other team. Like, at the very least, I thought that would push it over the edge for Mike Gundy, who is a ball control freak and has sworn up and down that if he always wants to run the football. And yet I'm like, why are you throwing Spencer Sanders out here then?
No, I think that Mike Gundy wants to run the offense that he wants to run, not the one that gets him, that is the most efficient or the most effective, that puts up the most points. He wants the one that makes it is the easiest to understand how he has drawn it up or wants it to be executed. I would say, like, as it comes to OSU versus Texas, I want OSU to go to win because I need them to continue the pro chaos movement. I need people to have the argument versus, who's the real OSU, Oklahoma State, undefeated versus Ohio State, who has 2 DM plays on the schedule. I don't know. This was real tough. Like, because OSU has played a whole bunch of teams that are not offensive juggernauts, and Texas, if anything they can do is that they can score, they can move the ball. So it's a real C tier, unstoppable force versus movable object here. I don't know. This was push. I'm gonna say I want Oklahoma State to win because of emotional reasons, but there's nothing in the stats that would say that OSU's gonna handily walk away from Texas on this one.
Man, I have never wanted 2 teams to lose more than this game. I mean, Oklahoma State's walking into this game as a 3.5-point favorite, and I'm going, how? Now, maybe it's the Boone Pickens advantage. Maybe that's what you think. But I've said many times over, and I believe that Texas is the most talented football team in this conference. And if they decided not to make Sam Ehlinger the focal point of the offense anymore and made it about those 3 tailbacks that they got and just decided to ram the ball down people's throats, it'd be a very different football team. You'd be able to run your match quarters. You'd be able to get your defense into complementary football. Instead, you got Mike Yurcich going, I'm going to throw it deep. And you know that Mike Yurcich wants to throw up all the points against his former boss. He got to want that, right? And then it's that Sam Ehlinger ain't that good. And here's the thing that's really maddening to me. Like, the 2 quarterbacks that are backing up these quarterbacks, Casey Thompson for Texas and Shane Illingworth for Oklahoma State, are the 2 better quarterbacks on their teams. Like, from a pure ability standpoint. Now, you want to talk about talisman and leader and, who gets you gassed up and who doesn't, that's a different conversation. But if you're looking at skill, they're keeping the more talented dude on the bench. And, Georgia tried that with Justin Fields. It didn't go so well. Alabama tried that with Jalen Hurts. It didn't go so well. I'm saying there's, Texas A&M tried that with Kyler Murray. It didn't go so well. At some point, something's got to give on that front. Especially if you're not winning football games. But even if you are winning football games, because, Jake Fromm went back to a Sugar Bowl. Tua Tagovailoa went back to a national championship game. So, even then, it ain't no guarantee. I don't feel that either of these teams is good. But I can't stand the thought of Oklahoma State being undefeated going into Bedlam. That doesn't wash for me. Even in a down year for Oklahoma, even in a down year for Texas, that doesn't wash for me. I don't think that Kansas State is so great or Iowa State is so great either. But both of those teams took L's to the Sun Belt. At the very least, Oklahoma State can catch 2 L's this year and go 8-2 instead of being able to dodge games. And then, they dodged the Baylor game, which I think would have given them a hard time a few weeks ago, but now Baylor, man. So Baylor lost his 2 best tailbacks to opt-outs in the same day. And they're not just seniors, they're also what are single digits. And at Baylor, what the single digit it means is you're one of the 10 dudes, right, that lead this team. It is a privilege to wear a single digit number. Okay? Both of those dudes have worn single digit numbers since Matt Rule put that in. And, Dave Aranda was smart to keep it. But they combined for 8 rushes and 8 pass attempts or opportunities to catch passes against who they play this weekend. It's not West Virginia. It's not Tech. I gotta check. But those dudes decided
I was about to say that's tough.
They decided that they were going to opt out because, it wasn't going the way that they thought it should go. And this is at a Baylor school that, Texas, that's who they played. That's why I'm dumb. Texas won that game 27-16. They decided to opt out of the Baylor school that can't get the COVID under control. And add to it this year, the NCAA put that eligibility rule in. And what is that eligibility rule? The eligibility rule is if you opt out this year, you don't lose a year. Doesn't matter when you opt out. So, I can't wait to see how many dudes opt out after game number 9.
Oh, man, it's trade deadline time.
Right. And both Treston Ebner and John Lovett are decent enough tailbacks to end up somewhere decent to play tailback. So Dave Aranda's team is already beginning to fall apart, even as, the team ain't very good and was not going to be very good this year. It just wasn't. I don't know that Baylor is a great landing spot for anybody. And Art Briles had to basically let his team run the university for them to be anywhere close to good. And that didn't go well. That ended in one of the worst sexual assault scandals in sports history. And you're trying to recruit around that. And you're trying to keep up what Matt Rule had going on, which is not really recruiting and just trying to overdevelop the guys that you get. Because Matt Rule made it clear, I'm not spending any time on the phone with no recruits. Spending time with the dudes that are here, which is another way of saying, I don't recruit. I can't wait to get to the NFL where all I got to do is draft them. Draft them and cut them. That's what I get to do. I'm not trying to whisper sweet nothings into any kid's ear. I'm trying to coach football. Well, you're not a college football coach, which he knew. Dave Aranda is going to try to recruit off of that. We'll see, dog. And, like Dave Aranda's been coaching football since he was 19 years old, like college football. I can't imagine what that must mean for like a dude that's like 43 for you to be in this position right now. Like, do you think that he's like mentally in his 70s having coached college football for that long?
No, he's the wonder kid. He's the dude that is how old is he right now? What, mid-40s?
Mm-hmm. 43.
Yeah, no, he's
43.
the one that's he's like the dude that has the perfect pitch, can tell you every sort of arrangement that's ever happened, can break down every song, and then has a reference to 10 other ones. Like, I imagine that he's probably at this point a football genius.
But this is his first head coaching gig. Like, man was a defensive coordinator, I believe, at Delta State, and then like Wisconsin, and then LSU. And that LSU defense last year was not the reason they won a national championship. Even as they were talented, they were middle of the road. Like, I think Oklahoma's pass defense was better than LSU's pass defense statistically. So, like, I hear you, but that ain't the way that it's been. Right? That ain't the way that it's been. All right.
You only got to tap B. You know what? Never mind. Because I was about to say that just because you know a lot doesn't mean that you know how to manage a group full of men and women. Just because you went to film school doesn't mean you can be a director.
It's true. It's true. And we're all fond of saying how little school you have to do a job professionally anyway. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Ron Taylor, who is as good on the fly as anybody that I've ever met in my life. I appreciate y'all for showing up at 2 o'clock because I have a conflict at 3 o'clock, and I quite literally asked my best friend to do a thing, and he did a thing for 40 plus minutes. If you like the podcast, please rate and review the podcast on, where it is you get your podcast. RJ Young Show, you know what it is. I will see y'all in a couple hours. Deuces.